Yo, what's up guys? This is Alex Rome, and today I'm going to show you how to properly tease and progress a melody. And what this is going to help you do is help make your melodies less repetitive and less boring. Because I actually hear it a lot when people take a melody in the beginning of the song and they just loop it over and over and over all the way up through the drop. It becomes boring and repetitive. So what I want to go over is how you can avoid that repetitive feeling and that boring feeling that we get from our melodies. But I do want to mention that we do have our second sound bank available on alexromesound.com called Future House Stars, and it has everything you need to make dope future house tracks. So go get Future House Stars for X for Serum. It has over 300 sounds in it and a free template. And I'll leave a link for that in the description below, so you can go check that out. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. This is how to tease a melody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this entire melody. You're going to hear it from here all the way up to here. I want you to get an idea of what this melody sounds like, and then try to see if you can tell what happened as this melody progresses. It starts out simple with less notes, and then goes up through the bridge, which is right here, and then into the drop, and you can see more notes come into it, and I want you to hear that. Alright, so you can hear we started with a simple little melody here, but it's the same sound actually all the way through. And since I was using the same sound, I had to do something to take away the boring repetition from this melody. So I started with this melody just like this. And I do want to mention that when you're making your melodies, making a melody like a progressive tease like this would only really work with a good call and response melody. So if you have like a more repetitive melody, like say like an ARP or something, it might not work as well. So my call of this melody is like this part, and then the response would be where it does a different thing. So it like does this first, which is kind of like an ARP, but then it changes up for the second half. And if I have a melody like this where there's two parts to it, then I can easily take the first half of this like that and just run that in the beginning of the song. Then the part when the drop comes in and the bridge comes in, I can add in the notes later. Edit, undo, delete. So if we go here, we can see that I took this line and this line right here, and then I think this, oh yeah, see this right here? So like, let's listen to this. That part right there was part of where this melody right here, the big melody, started opening up. So I actually kept these in too. So to give you a better idea, this is more of what I went for. I was just taking notes out of it, and then it ended up sounding good and working really well for the progression. Like that. So that was how I took notes out of it to run it in the beginning of the song. Now I want to show you what I did with the sound to keep it moving and to keep it fluid, because you can't just throw this in the bridge, throw the full melody in the bridge and then go into the drop and expect it to not get repetitive. Because in the bridge, we're actually not bringing the melody in, we're teasing the melody. We're still teasing. House music is weird because the entire song is a tease besides the drop. It's like weird. So what I did here is I actually made the sound of the melody get really quiet by using some filter automation to give that underwater effect, and we used a high cut filter. So watch this, or in other words, a low pass filter. So watch this. At the end of this melody, we're going to hear it. It's going to be really full, and then it's going to get really quiet when we get here because we're still teasing for what's going to come into here. And at any point in my verse and bridge, I never want this melody to be as full as it is in the drop. And here's where we go into the bridge. Alright, my CPU is starting to go nuts, but you can hear how it's going underwater there. And the way I do these high cut filters is I go into Logic EQ and I turn on the high cut filter right here, and I automate the frequency. So you can see right here that this automation directly controls this filtering right here. And so anytime that this filter comes all the way down, it's going to remove all the high frequencies of the sound. It's going to get that underwater effect. Just like that. So two things I want you to take from this video. That is that you can remove notes from your full melody that you have in the drop to use that same melody in the verse. So sometimes people use different melodies in the verse to avoid having to get creative with that full melody. But you can use the same melody without having to think of a different one, especially if you don't have a vocalist. Like I didn't have a vocalist on this. So you can remove notes from your full melody like this, as long as it's a good melody with a good call and response. And then get creative in the bridge. Try to make the full melody not sound as full yet, because we wanted to sound full in the drop. So what did I do? I added a filter to this. Whoops. A filter to this melody that opens up as we get toward the end of it, and then we're wide open by the time we get in the drop. So two things: use your automation filters and see if you can remove some notes from your full melody that you use in the drop, and you got a completely teased and progressed melody that's going to sound really fun and not repetitive and not boring. Alright, so thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you get to alexromesound.com to check out future house stars for X for Serum. I love you. Peace out.